All right, let's dive right in. You're doing the carnivore diet, but maybe the scale isn't moving, or you're just not feeling as amazing as you'd hoped. If that sounds like you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down the most common reasons why that happens, and more importantly, how to fix.
So, you've done the work, you cut the carbs, you're eating meat, but nothing. The weight is stuck, your energy is kind of blah, and you're definitely not experiencing that incredible healing you see people raving about online. I get it. It is so frustrating when the effort you're putting in doesn't seem to match the results. So what gives?
Well, first off, you are not alone. Not even close. Wellness expert Rebecca Hushman points out that something like 95%, that's a huge number, of people on carnivore aren't getting the results they want. But here's the really good news. The fix usually isn't some massive, complicated overhaul. It often just comes down to a few simple tweaks.
Okay, so how do we break through that plateau? The main idea we're going to explore today is that success isn't about being more perfect or even more restrictive. It's actually about learning how to fine-tune this thing for your unique body.
This quote right here, it's everything. The carnivore diet is an N of 1 experiment. That just means you are the only subject in the study. You're the one that matters. So let's use this explainer as your personal troubleshooter's guide, moving way beyond the basic just eat meat rule and into the details that can change everything.
First up, and this is a big one, let's talk about fuel. So many of the common problems, I'm talking fatigue, weight loss stalls, you name it, they don't happen because the diet is failing. They happen because of a simple mistake, not giving your body enough of the right kind of energy.
You see, the whole point of going carnivore is to become fat adapted, to teach your body to burn fat for fuel instead of sugar. But here's the catch, and it's a major one. Your body can't learn to burn fat efficiently if you don't give it enough fat to practice on. Trying to get fat adapted while restricting your main fuel source, it's just a recipe for disaster.
So how much is enough? Well, a lot of experts suggest aiming for a 2-to-1 ratio of fat to protein, and that's measured in grams. So take a look at the chart. If your protein target is 150 grams, you should be shooting for 300 grams of fat. This is exactly why you hear people talking about adding tallow or butter to their meals, because even a really fatty ribeye steak on its own will only get you to about a 1-to-1 ratio, at best.
Okay, this is where you get to play detective with your own body. The signals can be confusing, so let's clear them up. If you're feeling tired all the time, you're irritable, you can't sleep, or you're even noticing hair loss, your body might just be telling you it needs more calories overall. But if your main complaints are headaches, muscle cramps, constipation, or feeling dizzy, your body is probably screaming for electrolytes.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets to the root of so much confusion. Here's the deal. When you cut carbs way down, your insulin levels drop, and low insulin sends a signal to your kidneys to get rid of sodium. Remember that whoosh of water weight everyone loses in the first week? Yeah, that's not just water, you're losing a ton of salt with it. It means you have to put it back in, on purpose.
The big three you gotta know about are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. They all play a huge role. But honestly, the biggest, most immediate game changer for almost everyone starting out is just adding more sodium. Don't be shy about salting your food and even your water. Your body needs it now more than ever.
Okay, moving on to mistake number 2. Let's say you're eating enough fat, you've got your electrolytes dialed in, but you're still feeling stuck. What's next? Well, now we have to look at your actual food choices. The type of meat you're eating could be hiding some issues.
Now, this might sound a little strange, but for our purposes, not all meat is created equal. The saturated fat you get from ruminant animals, we're talking beef, lamb, bison, is often a more stable and preferred fuel source for your body compared to the polyunsaturated fats found in pork and chicken. This is not about saying bacon is bad, not at all. But if you've hit a wall, try a simple experiment. Just for a week or two, really prioritize beef and lamb and see how you feel. Okay, you're going to remember this one, and it's incredibly practical advice. The problem here is with liquid fat, or what's called rendered fat. When you eat a lot of it at once, it can hit your digestive system way too fast, totally overwhelming your liver's ability to produce enough bile to handle it. And the result? Yeah, usually an urgent trip to the bathroom.
So where is this sneaky rendered fat hiding? Well, you might be eating it without even realizing it. You know when you pour all the cooked grease back over your ground beef? That's it. That fatty coffee with butter or MCT oil? Yep. That beautiful pool of melted butter on top of your steak? Same deal. Even the liquid fat floating on bone broth. If you're having tummy troubles, try getting your fat from the solid, unrendered fat that's naturally on the meat instead.
Another sneaky issue is histamine intolerance. The best way to think about this is the overflowing bucket analogy. Your body has a bucket for histamines. Certain foods are high in histamine and they fill your bucket up faster. We're talking about things like aged meats, ground meats that aren't super fresh, canned fish, and even leftovers. If you're dealing with a runny nose, anxiety, or weird skin rashes after eating, your bucket might be overflowing. The fix? Try focusing on fresh, non-aged cuts for a while.
And that brings us to our third and final category of mistakes. This one's all about your habits and your mindset. Because even if you have the food choices perfected, the way you approach this diet can be the very thing holding you back.
Fasting. In the low-carb world, it's often treated like this magical cure-all, right? But here's the thing. More is not always better. Fasting is a stress on the body. And if your system is already stressed out from, say, a thyroid issue or adrenal fatigue, piling on a long fast can raise your stress hormone, cortisol, and actually do more harm than good. It's a powerful tool, but you have to use it at the right time.
Here's the key difference. For most people, some gentle intermittent fasting, like eating all your food in an 8-hour window, is a beneficial or good stress. But pushing into these 24-hour-plus fasts before your body is truly healed and robust, that can become a bad stressor, a major one. The best advice? Focus on getting your body stronger and more nourished first, then you can play with longer fasts.
Now, let's talk about the real world. Navigating social events can be the absolute hardest part of this. The key is to have a plan. So here's a simple 3-step framework. Step 1. Define your non-negotiables. What will you absolutely not eat? For most people, that's seed oils. Step 2. Plan your exceptions. Is there a keto treat at the wedding you'll allow yourself to have? Decide beforehand. And Step 3. Enjoy it without guilt. This approach saves you from that all-or-nothing trap, where one mistake makes you feel like a total failure.
So, after troubleshooting your fuel, your food, and your whole approach, what's the big idea? What's the one thing you really need to walk away with?
It really all boils down to this fundamental shift in your mindset. You have to stop thinking of your body as some machine that you need to force into perfection. Instead, start thinking of it as a complex, beautiful system that you need to understand. You're learning to listen to its signals.
And this quote just sums it up perfectly. This is the ultimate goal. It's about finding that balance. As you remove all the noise from processed, hyperpalatable foods, something amazing happens. Your body's own intuition gets stronger. You can actually start to trust your hunger and satiety signals again and let them guide you on this journey.
The whole point of this process is about learning a new language, your body's language. It's telling you every single day if it needs more fat, if it needs less histamine, or if it just needs less stress. It's sending you the signals. The only question left is, are you ready to stop forcing and start listening?